Commission workshop to order at this time. Mr. Hopkins, if we can have roll call.
Dominic.
Present.
Lyndon Johnson. Jackson. Lynn. Bowman.
Present.
Cawthorn. Gage Watts.
Present.
Middleton. Atkins. Chavez. Smith. Lewis Johnson. Present, sir. We have
If we can all stand once again, this time we'll have Commissioner Lewis Johnson, if you'll lead us in the invocation, and Commissioner Chavez, if you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, Lord, we come before you now in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
We come, oh God, with thanksgiving in our hearts. Thank you for this day, oh God, and thank you for this gift, for your gift of life. Lord, we pray that as we proceed in this meeting, oh Lord, that all that we say and all that we do will give you glory. We pray, oh God, that we might represent those who we are tasked to represent with integrity, oh God. Lord, we thank you and ask for your blessings upon this body, upon this parish, upon all our citizens. This is our prayer. It's in the precious name of Jesus that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And when President would face the flag and render the proper salute, repeat after me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Once again, I'd like to welcome everybody here. Do we have any agenda additions? No, none. Okay. Before we get to moving, I just wanted to say one thing before I forget. We need to all wish Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts a happy belated birthday. She turned 28
and holding
and looking really good, better than the rest of us up here.
Beautiful still.
Now, if we can just get her to act better than all of us. That's the question. No, I'm sure you do. Okay, so we'll move on to our next item. We're going to citizens' comments. Citizens who wish or desire to address the commission must fill out a comment card and forward it to myself or the clerk of the commission. Comments by any citizen is limited to 3 minutes. Todd, I don't have any comment cards, do you? Okay. Mr. Settle, you have a comment card today? Okay. Before we move on, I would ask that, I will just do this. I'll make a motion to suspend the rules to allow Miss Atchison to come up. She has a special guest who was our poet laureate to come up at this time.
Administrative report right now? That's what that's under, the administrative report. So
okay, I'll move that portion of the admin report.
Well, let's move all of it up.
Okay, let's move it all up. Okay, move the admin report. Come on up right now.
Okay.
I think we may have to have, do they have to have? Yeah, that's good. Okay, I made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Lyndon Johnson. Please vote. Do we need that vote by hand?
No.
All right, we got it.
President, someone said that the sound isn't working on live stream.
Okay. Hang on one second. We're still. Can you?
There it is.
Okay. I'm waiting for the vote. Okay, that passes 9-0. Can someone check on the sound? They're telling me that the sound is not working on the, I guess, Facebook live stream.
Oh, they're working on to try to get it corrected.
Okay. One of these days we're going to get some
I got a
equipment to work.
16-year-old volunteer at my church that makes it stream every time. We need to bring him over here.
That's a good intern, too.
Right?
All right. Miss Pam, how you doing today?
Great, thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're glad to see you again, and we're going to turn over the meeting to you at this time. If you can just give us your name, and we'll let you go.
I can have the whole meeting? No. Pam Atchison with the Shreveport Regional Arts Council, and also with me, Ashley Mace Havard, your new Caddo Poet Laureate, and we're going to talk and introduce her for a few minutes. And it's just a thrill. You know, the Caddo Parish is the only parish in the state of Louisiana who honors the arts with a poet laureate. And we couldn't be happier. This year's judge was the state poet laureate, Dr. Jack Bedell, who came to Caddo Parish and met with all of the area poets to talk about what was appropriate for a Caddo Parish Poet Laureate, the only person to follow in his footsteps. I believe that Ashley actually could become the state of Louisiana Poet Laureate if she will apply for it. These are application processes, and you voted for her to be for 3 years. And I'd just like to give a nod of thanks to former Commissioner Stephanie Lynch, who helped to bring all of this to the forefront. it seems like long ago, but today Ashley has been selected. I just want to tell you a few things about her and quickly about the process. Your judge, Dr. Bedell, said that he was extremely impressed with all of the applications, and there were several, from street poets to rapping poets to spoken word performers, and then highly refined literary poets like Ashley. He was very encouraged by the fact that all of the applicants understand that there's an obligation in being the representative for Caddo Parish, and that there are civic and social responsibilities, and by golly, Ashley's already been doing several of them, and we'll talk about those in one quick second. So he really thought we had a great pool of applicants, but in the end he selected Ashley, saying that her poems are incredibly well crafted, and she controls such a wide array of subjects with a very deft hand. She has served for many years in the public, engaged in publishing her work, and that's really, I think, a very big key of what this position holds, is that it's a published author, published poet, and he says that he is positive that Ashley will foster excellent programs throughout Caddo Parish, celebrating and advancing an interest in poetry over the course of her 3-year term that you all have selected her to be your Poet Laureate. Now, I'm pronouncing it wrong, and I'm just going to say we were actually told at the Art Break Festival when she was introduced there and did a presentation that it's laureate, not laureate. So you can correct me again, but I'll just say the point is that Ashley is was raised, as she puts it, on a tobacco farm, and not in the state of Louisiana, but she's done her term. She's been a resident of Caddo Parish for more than 30 years, a published poet for more than 25 years, and she has 3 collections right now of poetry, and just told me that her 4th will be coming out in a year or so. But the award-winning collection is called The Garden of the Fugitives, and it won the 2013 X.J. Kennedy Prize. She's been published in a lot of reviews, and I would say them all, but I want you to know that in addition to Ashley being a poet, she's also a novelist. And her first book, Lightning Struck, was a very good seller, high seller, and won a big prize. It won the prize, just one moment. I know it's the Farrell Sams Award. Thank you very much. The Farrell Sams Award. It was also, though, selected as an editor's choice by the Historical Novel Society. So she's a teacher. She teaches in church groups. She's taught at the Renzi Center. She just taught at Art Break. She has a very big commitment to make sure that in her role for the next 3 years, she gives great visibility to Caddo Parish's area poets, and she believes their voices deserve to be heard. So she will be promoting poetry and Caddo Parish poets and workshops and conferences. She's traveling to Greece next month, and you're not paying for it, but she will be a great ambassador of Caddo Parish, and she's already written one poem that I think you're going to love. So please welcome your Poet Laureate, Ashley Mace Havard. Ashley.
Thank you. Thank you, Pam, the hardest working individual in the city, queen of the arts for sure. Thank you so much. And thank you all for entrusting me with this position. I'm truly, really and truly and deeply honored to be doing this. And so I'm going to read a really short poem. It's about the way spring comes to Caddo Parish. And the name of it is Carnival. Just like Louisiana, even this Northwest outpost, to throw spring in a full-blown rush, street party, jumble sale, a room full of presents torn open at once. Manic as Mardi Gras, this parade of frazzled azalea, voluptuous tulip, old money debutante camellia, jessamine, redbud, hyacinth. Air, a storm of throws, oak tassels, pear petals, fat bees, pollen drunk. This yellow blizzard, the only kind we know. Winter, a moment of silent prayer for show. In this grand old riot of heat, Our brains swell with fool's gold dust. Feverish, addicted, we can't get enough of festivals, football, oil, politics. We get rich quick. And thank you. Thank you.
We're going to be able to get a copy of that? Okay. We would love to. All right. I think we have a couple, Miss Ashley, if you can come back, I think we got a couple of commissioners that they want to say something. Commissioner Lewis Johnson?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. President. First of all, I wanted to say to Miss Ashley, I want to start it with roses are red. Well, maybe not.
Oh, come on.
I want to let the commission know that I had the honor of attending the debut for Miss Ashley down at ArtSpace. And there was a very good reception. The arts community is excited about Miss Ashley being our poet laureate. They were supportive and they were there and excited about it. And I'm glad that we too, as the commission's excited about it. As you said, Ms. Pam does an excellent job. And I wanted to commend you, wanted to welcome you here today and tell you that it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bowman?
Yes, President Dominic. I just want to say I'm supportive of the arts. I think they're just as important as anything that we have medical, as a part of tourism, just a part of adding quality to life. And so I support Ms. Pam all the time, and I just want to say congratulations again. I know I spoke with you last week at the City Council meeting to tell you the same, but congratulations again.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
And Commissioner Jackson?
Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Glad to have you on. I missed the introduction, but hopefully we'll have you down a couple of times. I did want to say, Pam, since we have you all up, congratulations on the successful Art Break weekend that just wrapped up yesterday. I always enjoy coming down as a former student of Art Break, participating in the Caddo Parish Honor Band. It's always a pleasure to come back and see it still going, and I make sure I take my nieces and my nephews down as well. So continue the great work, continue making Shreveport a great place to live, work, and create. So I caught it that time.
I like that.
And appreciate it, Pam, and thank you. Look forward to having you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Miss Ashley, is it Harvard?
Harvard.
Harvard, okay. On behalf of the commission, I would like to just thank you and congratulate you and appreciate your hard work. If you can get the copy of the poem to Mr. Hopkins, and he can be sure and put it in the minutes, and also he'll be able to email it to us if we wish to print it out. I'd like to print it out.
Sure,
so,
sure.
Thank
be
you.
happy to.
Thank you so much. And Miss Atchison, thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, we're moving on to our, excuse me, we're still on our admin report, so I'll turn it back to you.
Hey, no problem. I have a few things, and I'll try to be quick today, Commissioners. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm pleased to let you know that on behalf of the Best Friends Animal Society, I would like to wish you congratulations on being awarded a one-time scholarship to attend the Best Friends National Conference taking place in Los Angeles, California.
All right.
From July 19th to July 21st. And an amount of $1,500 plus waiving all the conference fees to Mr. Calvin Samuel.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Pardon me? He impressed the Best Friends folks when they were out here on a visit. We're still waiting their report, but it's been very favorable in my discussions with the folks that did the report, so we're waiting on the final. But in the interim, he got selected for a scholarship, so we are real appreciative of that.
Well, good. Thank you so much.
Okay, Commissioners, also I had a commissioner request for information relative to NGOs that provide summer programs. So at your station, each one, Commissioner Jackson's request. So we put something at each one of your stations on the agencies that provide that, so you all can govern yourselves accordingly there. Also, I had a request for information relative to the Amber Alert on the highway. We contacted DOTD, and they said that's something that does not fit the preview of that program. So I'm sorry about that, but we did get a response back from DOTD.
What is that on? I'm sorry.
I think we had a commissioner request to see if we can include motorcycles, a warning on the interstate when they are present on the interstate. And DOTD said they don't quite go that far because that's not what the intended program is for. Okay, I did talk to Commissioner Atkins about the new changes in the ITAP that's coming. We had a board meeting last Wednesday in Baton Rouge, and Secretary Pearson did put out some new changes. So you have it at your station, and it's going to be, the major change is this. The initial vetting of the applications will be done by the state C&I board. So when we send you all that.
Commerce and Industry, to be clear.
Yeah,
sir.
Commerce and Industry Board. So when we send you the applications, we were already voted on it at the state level. And then we're going to give you a chance to rule on it at the local level. You have 30 days to respond. If you do not respond, it's automatic approval on your part. Otherwise, you have 60 days from the time the Commerce and Industry Board notify you that you have to respond with your favorable comments in terms of what ratio. But the intent is that is no 100% anymore. It will be 80%, so every entity will start getting taxes 20% from the start of the abatement period. Okay, more to come on that. I have a package here and a lot of dates and specifics. I'll be glad to cover that in the Economic Development Committee meeting when we have more time.
Thank you, Dr.
All
Wilson.
right. Also, this meeting is, in fact, Mr. James Dimajay's last meeting. Mr. Dimajay actually retires on May the 11th. We have a little program for him. We'll be in here in the chamber on May 9th at 1:30 to give him a good send-off. But we appreciate his 22 years of service to the parish Caddo.
Yes.
Okay, also, this remind you all, there's the Industrial Development Board meeting this Friday at 9 a.m. And we're going to be discussing some issues.
Where's that going to be at?
I think it's going to be
Conference room.
I was about to say it's going to be
in the government chamber here.
Okay. The
Yes.
IDB board.
IDB board meeting at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock here in the chamber.
Louis, you hear that?
in the conference.
Yeah. Okay.
This
Okay.
Friday.
I think that's all I have, sir. If anyone
Okay.
has questions for me, I'm good.
All right. I have a couple commissioners on board. Commissioner Stephen Jackson.
Dr. Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the NGO organizations for summer camp. Is there a way for us to get this out? Are we going to package this and send it out? Because, again, what I get is we didn't know that these programs existed for my child or my grandchild or folks to get in. Is there a way for us to
We can
send
it
this
on our
out?
social media outlets.
Mhm.
Or
And
web
can we
page.
send it probably to the outlets, whether they pick it up or not?
Okay.
We will know that it got out
To the media.
public. Yeah, to the
Right.
media. So nobody will say we withheld these programs.
Yeah, if Crystal, I guess Crystal could do a press release or something on that. Would that
Right.
work, Commissioner
Right.
Jackson?
I think that was also part of the initial release,
Okay,
was that
cool.
we would send it to the media that here are, because I think all of them have a database, so
Okay.
they can just add these to their database.
Okay, we will.
The other question that I had was, what specifically, is there an agenda for the Industrial Development Board or?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
I can give me a get a
Yeah,
copy
we
of
could get a
it.
copy of it.
Yeah, I have it with me.
Okay, appreciate
I'll get you a copy before you leave here.
That's it.
today.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And Commissioner Chavez?
Thank you, Chair. Dr. Wilson, on this NGO-funded organizations, can you email us a list to dial it down a little better? There's some generic, for instance, summer activities is duplicated in summer camp, just so that we know exactly what that is or who that is. And then I do see some duplications on here of entities that are the same entity, just gone by different names. So
Okay.
if you could email us who these people are and where they're located.
Yes, sir, I will.
Okay, thank you. Lastly, I'm going to save that for the economic development meeting.
Okay. Commissioner Lyndon Johnson?
Yes, I guess I'm a little puzzled about the need to, I guess, publicize it, because most of these organizations, they do get some funding from us, but it's very limited. And so if you do a mass media blitz, now they're gonna be getting phone calls out the gazoo. And then now they're gonna be coming asking for additional money because they got this an additional need, because more people are now calling about a summer camp. So I just think we might wanna kind of relook how we wanna send this out, because, I mean, it is basically limited funded that we do most of these organizations. I wouldn't say most of them are very limited funded. And to do that would then put more attention on them, and then they would get calls. And knowing that they don't want to turn down no kids, they'll be coming back here saying that they need additional funds because of action that we did. So just think about that. Y'all ponder that before the day is over with.
Commissioner Jackson, you're back on the board.
Yes, and also maybe I want to go over this list again because I don't see any ones duplicated, but I just don't see some. I think I see one missing. But to address Commissioner Lyndon Johnson's question, I had initially asked because what I get is a lot of folks will say, well, we didn't know that these programs were here, but I'm not asking us to commit to do anything more than what we are doing. I'm just asking us to get the word out, because like with the summer jobs program, a lot of folks will say, we never knew about it. We never even knew it was open. We never knew our kid could participate in it. It seemed like it's very selective. And so it's a public program. The public should know about it. And so I'm not, just because people come and ask for it, then we're not obligated to say yes. Our goal is to just put the information out so that everybody has equal access to the resources that are out here. I see the one group on here who said that they had a challenge filling that camp last year. So I just think these are opportunities for us to get what resources are out there to our community, not to commit us to do anything more above and beyond what we're already doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. I see no one else on the board. Mr. Clerk, we'll move on to our next item.
I have one question. I have the IDB meeting in the conference room behind the chambers. Is that correct?
Right, that's correct.
Okay, I just want to be sure. All right, we'll move to, we have no old business, we move to new business. Authorized introduction of ordinance number 5772.
Okay, did we go, so we went through the communiques and committee reports and everything, no one else had
Right,
anything?
remember we have one in the front now and one in the back.
Okay, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So authorized introduction of 5772, set the general purpose millages and special purpose millages, instruct the tax assessor to include said millages.
Hold on, point of order. We actually, when we suspended the rules, we just moved the administration report to the top, so.
Yeah, that's it.
It should be a commission remarks.
I thought we moved that back.
Yeah, I think they're right. I don't know if we had any. I think everybody was just remarking concerning the admin report. So if we can hold off and go to commission.
So we'll go back to
commission remarks.
Okay.
This is at the top. Communiques, remarks, and responses to items on the agenda. I think what we voted on was to keep it on concerning things that could be addressed on the agenda and comments of anybody been made. Okay. So does anybody have any communiques, remarks, or responses at this time? Okay, we'll move on to our introduction of the ordinance. Todd, if you could redo that, please.
All right, authorized introduction of 5772, set the general purpose millages and special purpose millages, instruct the tax assessor to include said millages on the tax roll Parish of Caddo for the year 2018.
Move to advance.
I have a motion by Commissioner John Atkins, seconded by Commissioner Stephen Jackson to move and advance ordinance number 5772. I have Commissioner Lyndon Johnson on the board. You don't need to speak on your motion.
No.
Commissioner Lyndon Johnson?
Yes, I want to englobo some ordinances, if that's okay today?
Second.
Okay, so I want to englobo ordinance 5772, 5773, 5774, 5775, 75, we start right there. On the millages, and advance it to our regular session that's due to us.
Okay, so I have a substitute motion by Commissioner Lyndon Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Stephen Jackson to introduce and move to Thursday ordinance number 5772, 5773, 5774, 5775. I believe all of these have to do with the standard millage rates, the millage ordinances that we pass each and every year, if I'm correct, Erica?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So does anybody, no one's on the board, please vote to move these to Thursday. That passes 10-0. Moving to the next item, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, next we have authorizing introduction of ordinance number 5776, amending the 2017 budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the detention facilities fund to increase the appropriation for prisoner medical care.
Move to advance to Thursday.
We have a motion by Commissioner John Atkins, seconded by Commissioner Gerald Bowman to move this to Thursday. I have a couple commissioners on the board.
I'll speak to the motion.
Okay, Commissioner John Atkins, we'll let you speak since you're the maker of the motion.
Yes, this issue was discussed in length in the Finance Committee meeting. Several of you all were in that meeting. Unfortunately, our healthcare costs at the Caddo Correctional Center were just higher than we had modeled. As you all know, healthcare costs continue to rise, and our healthcare costs are also partly a function of the mix of inmates at the facilities. It can be somewhat hard to predict and hard to control. So unfortunately, this is a fact of the situation that our budget was over by about $550. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Linda Johnson.
Yeah, are we required by law to fund this?
Okay.
Yes.
100%?
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
At 100%? Okay. Did we also look at different drug agencies and pharmacies and things like that, so different insurance agencies? Or we had to follow a certain one?
No, Commissioner, we're working with the Sheriff's Office to try to to come up with methods to try to get the medical down. Some of this is simply a timing issue that we weren't aware that had risen to this degree because of delay in receiving some of the bills. But we have met with them and are having discussions on ways we can try to get the medical down, and one of them is looking at prescription drugs. They do go out for bid on the prescription drugs to get the best price we can get. All of this is not related to that.
Okay, even with some of the national programs we have with the prescription discounts through NACO, could that even be applied?
They are receiving whatever discounts. A lot of this is you have some inmates that have illnesses. Yeah, catastrophic illnesses that cause the particular drugs that they need to be high. There's also some issues with having to supervise certain inmates that may be suicide watch and risk. The cost that's associated with those costs, transporting prisoners. So it's multiple issues that are.
Do they also qualify for Medicare, Medicaid?
They do not.
Not
once they enter the facility, they lose.
Oh, they lose all that? If they had it, they lose it?
Yes, temporarily.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes, I think you actually answered part of it. Did I hear you say this is all inclusive? Is this all inclusive of prisoner transport or?
Prisoner transport associated with medical costs. There's a separate hospital transport just to court and that type of thing, which we also pay. So that is not included in this number.
Okay, because I guess what I'm asking is this just actually the delivery of care? Because I heard you mention transport, I heard pharmacy, I heard. So is this all inclusive of all of that, or is this just care, or is this care, pharmacy, and transport?
Right, there's anything associated with the medical.
Everything related to medical.
Supplies. Okay.
Everything you're talking about, I would assume.
I got you. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't come back and then there was another, what's his name? Also, we are, so you're saying we're required to cover costs. They're not allowed to go into the uncompensated care pool. Don't they are they going to universal health right now?
They do go to university health, but as far as benefits, once they are arrested and entered into the facility, those benefits are cut off. So the parish is responsible for the health care.
You're saying benefits as in Medicaid, Medicare?
Correct.
Right. But uncompensated care, that's not Medicaid, is it?
If it's a federal program, they're going to be ineligible.
No, uncompensated care, that's the state program.
They'll probably be ineligible for that as well.
Okay. Is there a way we could probably just reach out to LDH to see if But we are statutorily obligated to cover medical care.
And
Okay.
Just to let you, these particular costs are costs that have already been incurred. So there's not a lot we can do to change
Right.
these, but we're working towards trying to reduce for 18 and beyond.
Right. And I know part of that was trying to move the docket along a little faster as well. Well, not
Yes.
faster, but
That is part of it.
trying to expedite who gets hurt and not.
Yes, because
Okay.
when we look at the detail on some of the drugs, you have persons who may be still in the facility. If we can get them out, then we wouldn't have that cost.
Either get them back out
Yeah.
into society or into the state penitentiary. Now,
Correct.
now, my other question is this cost for parish prisoners or is this cost for state prisoners? Because I do know we have some state prisoners over there.
That would be both.
Is that fair?
That's a long discussion.
Well, I'm definitely interested in hearing it.
So, yeah, we would have.
It's been as far as the Supreme Court of Louisiana.
We've raised that issue before, Commissioner Jackson, and the agreement that we have worked out, we do pay for both state and parish prisoners, and we have an agreement with the sheriff on how they compensate us for those non-parish prisoners.
Yeah,
Well, if y'all could just
we
get
can
us
talk
some,
about that.
yeah, well, if y'all could just get me some information, I, would be a little bit more comfortable, just, as we're talking, more edification for ourselves. I didn't know we were taking care of state prisoners, but thank you.
I think I'm on the board. Those pharmaceuticals and things of that nature, the bid, they go out, I'm assuming they go out for bids and have generic drugs too.
Correct.
Individuals that have private care, their private insurance pays for it, I'm assuming.
If you had an individual in there with
Which is probably fairly
very
rare.
rare, but yes.
And this is another, I guess, kind of a stupid question, but I'm asking anyway. Someone who has medical, and I don't know if they won the lottery, did we ever seek reimbursement or anything? Or is it legal?
That's a great question.
That's actually a good one.
We'll have to look into that. We don't seek reimbursement, but the legality of it has never been questioned because we're mandated to take care of it.
Well, maybe something to look at. I don't know how, that would probably be rare too, but there may be an issue that someone does win the lottery or inherits money from their mom or dad and they got a $10,000 medical bill that we could get. I don't know, something to at least talk about or look at. That's all I had. And Commissioner Jackson, I think that you might want to sit down with Erica and discuss that issue with her. I'm very aware of it, but that's been brought up and it's been something that's an issue, goes back years and years ago. Commissioner Chavez.
Thank you, Chair. It seems like this is a unfortunate situation that the parish is stuck in, and we always come across these resolutions to urge this congressman to do that and urge the governor to say this. Dr. Wilson, Erica, hey guys, who do we urge? Who do we urge to say, hey, how do we keep them on Medicare? I mean, do we need to? Does this need to go to the feds? Is this a state level? How do we write a resolution, and who do we urge to say, hey, the parish shouldn't be penalized when somebody gets charged with a crime, and then we have to foot the bill for it? So we can save the taxpayers some funds. Who do we start writing letters to and say, hey guys, listen to us, we need something fixed here?
Well, obviously, federal programs, we would have to contact the federal government. Any state programs, which we would, as Commissioner Jackson asked us to, we'll contact the state to have conversations with them. But the other programs, the VA program, Medicaid, Medicare, those are federal programs.
Can you guys put together some resolutions to start urging our federal legislators so we can start lobbying them to try to fix this to save the taxpayers some money?
Sure.
Mr. Chef, I can respond to that. You know, when we go to the legislative conference at NACO, that little session they have on community jails is packed. You can't even get in the room. You're in the hallway. There have been several laws on the books of Congress to address this issue, but none of them have successfully been passed. That when the inmate goes into, all the benefits cut off, even the veterans benefit cuts off. And all that cost is forced on local government. And we've been screaming from all over the country that it's unfair to us when folks already got these privileges before they go to jail. But they don't get restored until they get out of jail. But during the time they're in jail, everything cuts off. And federal government have yet to pass some law that will keep that intact until the person is actually adjudicated. But it's been talked about a lot, but nothing has come of it.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil. I don't think that means we should just stop. So let's start urging somebody, especially our federal legislators.
Yeah, but
if we're the loudest, we'll get to the front of the line. Hopefully, we'll get an audience.
Yeah, so, but NACO's been our advocate for that, and they've been carrying a big stick for us, but yet in that we have not been able to overcome that obstacle yet.
Sound like a road trip.
Yeah, it sounds like something we need to do. Erica, if you can get us something, we'll send it up there and start writing some letters, and we'll go from there.
Dr. Wilson, you have anything?
Oh, that's what make that.
So my question would be this: so there's no state in the union, the United States of America,
That's correct.
that all states are in the same Medicare, Medicaid,
Yes, sir.
VA. They're cut off whether you're Texas or New Jersey or wherever.
That's correct.
We're all in together. Okay.
That's correct.
That's good.
That's why we have representation. That's all.
Quit arresting the sick people, I guess.
Okay, also Commissioner Dominic, if I can have one more point of privilege.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, we had the process for selecting a new director for Management Services
Yes, sir.
last week.
Yes, sir.
And I'd like to bring that announcement coming forth this Thursday. I want to meet with the staff.
Good.
You know, we had, but I want you to know, we had 9 people on the panel, 5 from the community, from various groups that represent animal welfare, and we also had 4 staff members. So there was a rigorous process, and we picked the best candidate. So I'll be bringing that forward to you Thursday. And respect to the person needed to notify the present employer and give them 2-week notice. And I need to let the staff know of the choice as well.
And I would simply, I'm trying to use my words, thank you and show my respect for you for allowing the animal service community and those individuals
Yes, sir.
to help you make that decision, whereas according to our charter, that's your decision.
Yes,
But
sir.
you had the forethought that, you know, hey, look, this has been an issue and we need to have the community to come together. So
Yes, sir.
look forward to your report on that.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Jackson. You good?
I don't know what that is.
He mute?
I don't know what that is. I tried to take it off.
Okay. All right. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
We still have to vote, sir.
No.
For the medical.
We're voting on 5776.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let me get back and get my head wrapped around. So we're considering the voting of moving forward to Thursday ordinance number 5776 regarding the amendment of the budget for the $550,000 medical care at Caddo Correctional Center. And
One quick question.
sure.
Erica, where is this money gonna come from? What fund?
From the fund balance within the fund.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
It'll be real fun.
Low today.
This is the reason why stuff like
That's
this.
why you have fund balance.
That's why we can't use it.
Please vote. That passes 10-0. Moving on to our next item.
Authorize introduction of ordinance number 5777, 2018, ordinance to authorize purchase of property located at 1356 Longhorn Street for use as a portion of the Caddo Community Action Agency property.
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Gerald Bowman, seconded by Commissioner Stephen Jackson. Can someone,
If you'll clear the queue right there, it'll take his name
how
out.
do I clear that? Oh, clear queue. All right, I hit clear queue. Can, Dr. Wilson, can you explain this to me real quick?
Just wanted that, sir.
5777.
The
Yeah.
Caddo Council on Aging.
Yeah, it's that area.
Community Action Agency.
Yes, CCW needed some additional parking areas.
Okay, and we paying, we won't be,
It's our building.
yeah.
Okay, so we take care of it.
All right, please vote.
$3,000.
That was pretty.
Next item.
Authorize resolution number 31 of 2018, ordering calling a special election to be held in the sales district number 1 of Caddo Parish, Louisiana, to authorize the rededication of the sales and use tax therein, making application to the State Bond Commission in connection therewith.
Have no motion that
Wait, I'm
dies.
sorry. So move.
Okay, have a motion by Stephen Jackson. That resolution,
I'll second it because I'd like to hear, what is this about, Steve?
What did I just?
Hang on one second. So I have a motion by Commissioner Stephen Jackson.
What am I making a motion?
This is seconded by myself. This is, excuse me, seconded by Commissioner Chavez, ordering calling a special election to be held concerning the sales tax district.
Oh, okay, this is Lynn.
This
Oh,
is
yeah, he just
Lynn.
asked me, Matthew's not here, but he asked me if we would introduce it to Thursday to discuss, so. I
Commissioner
think this
Chavez,
is
you
to
want
open up our free option resource.
No, my second is just because I wanted to discuss it.
Yeah.
If Matthew's not here, I guess he can't discuss it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Anybody?
You guys wrote it.
Oh, yeah,
I'm sure
I
he
mean-
talked with you about it. What's going
No.
on there?
Yeah, I did have the opportunity to visit with Commissioner Lynn on this, and I shared with him my concerns. I think it's a good idea, but the timing is wrong.
Okay.
Because, you know, on April 29th of 2017, this measure failed overwhelmingly in the north and the rural areas of the parish. And now we have before us our parks renewal, and we're adding something else to the equation. And I think we just need to let it stand on its own merit. And there'll be opportunities next year, early next year, other elections to have this by itself. And we can do a more focused effort on getting it passed. But to put both things on there again before the citizens, I think it'd be convoluted, and it's not strategically in our best advantage to go forward. And I did share that with Commissioner Lynn in my office.
Makes sense.
Okay. I'm on the board. I was not asked about this. This affects the rural areas everywhere except the city of Shreveport and Vivian.
Right.
I think it's a bad timing issue. I'm not sure if it's a good idea, but I know for sure, if you want that park and recreation to fail, put this on the ballot. Okay? If you want it to fail, I'm telling you right now, put this on the ballot. The citizens have spoke and said overwhelmingly in our last election
Yes, sir.
that we do not need to put multiple things on the ballot. You're going to cause confusion. You're going to cause issues where people are going to be focused on this issue. When myself and Dr. Wilson or whoever goes to different meetings or tries to explain to people, I think it's going to be a lot easier if we keep it simple.
Right.
Guys, you do not know how important our park and recreation renewal is, and we need to focus on one issue at a time, one thing. And I don't want to be talking to people and they're going to say, well, what's this other issue about? And it gets a little bit confusing the way this works. But we just need to have the park and recreation issue on the ballot. We need to inform our people. We need to hope and pray for the best that that does pass. So at this point, I want this voted down no, and vote no right now so we don't have to put it on Thursdays. And Commissioner Jackson, you've already spoken with Chavez, you already spoken too, correct? So we'll go back to Commissioner Jackson.
Well, I was withdraw my motion. Like I said, Commissioner Lynn asked me if I would make the introduction, because he was taking an exam, so I'm not aware of what it is or what's going on. Nobody talked to me about it either. I just told him I didn't mind doing the motion for him. So I withdraw my motion.
Okay, so Commissioner Jackson has withdrawn his motion. Todd, does that mean it's taken off the?
Somebody else has them up.
I mean, right now.
I mean, it failed.
Lack of a second.
I was about to say lack of a second, because
Okay.
the seconder moves up to the maker.
Okay, so that fails. We'll move on to our next item. Oh, someone else then? Commissioner Johnson?
Yes, I want to make a motion to table this.
To just lay it on the table with,
Table.
okay.
So
All right, so
it won't
motion.
come up Thursday.
Okay. Commissioner Linda Johnson makes a
But you're not
motion
killing it.
to place it on the table. And I have a seconded by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts. So it'll just be on the table. It won't be brought up for Thursday. It could be brought up at a later date sometime.
Yep.
It can be brought up at any time
Not Thursday, right?
with
Subject to vote.
with 2/3 of the vote, I believe.
I thought they had to wait, right?
I don't think that has to be brought as 2/3 of a vote. It just
To
has to
bring
be
it
put
off
on
the
the
table.
agenda. He can put it back on the agenda next time if he wants
It's going to
to.
take 2/3 votes to take it off the table.
No,
Right.
you
No.
have to have once you put it on the table.
gotta take it off.
You have to have the vote to
Right,
take it off the table.
That's
It
what I
cannot
said.
just be put back
Right.
on the agenda.
Right. That's what I just said.
And how large?
But it doesn't take 2/3. It takes a simple majority. And according to from the lady that
Yes,
gave
that's right.
our thing, that it can be put on, it can be taken off the table at any time at our next meeting. If he wants to put it back on, he can. So it's not really.
After you vote on it, you gotta get it passed to take off the table. He cannot put it on the agenda without you voting to take it off the table.
Right. It's 2 steps now instead of
Okay,
one.
all right.
This follows.
Please vote.
What are we voting on here?
So vote yes.
No.
That's the way I would vote.
No.
If you want it on tape.
Hey, point of order.
In a scenario, not for real.
Hey, Donna,
Yes.
if he retracted his motion, can he make a motion? I don't think he can.
Well, no, what you have is you have him retracting his motion. You were the second, so you become the maker of the motion, but it fails for a lack of second. He's making a different motion.
Yes, Tommy seconded.
It's totally separate.
You didn't get the second.
So
Yours failed for lack of second.
Oh, no, I just made it a second to bring it on. So I thought you were making a motion off of his that he retracted.
No.
Okay.
When you stayed with your second, when you didn't withdraw your second, then that made you the maker of the motion. But nobody seconded it, so it failed for lack of a second.
all right. So just to get clear, Commissioner Stevie Jackson.
Hold on, I'm still on the board.
Okay, let me just point of order. He withdraws his motion, so that dies for lack of second. So what we're trying to vote on right now, if you have not already voted, is the motion that's made by Linda Johnson to place this matter on the table. To table the motion.
Last question is this coming up to expire, or is there a reason he's doing it now, or there's no time limit on this?
It never expires.
It's a dedication.
Good. All right. That's it. I'm done, Chair.
Okay. So please vote to lay it on the table. There's the motion. If you're for laying it on the table, please vote yes. That passes 8-2. Okay, moving on to our next item.
Authorize resolution number 32, authorizing the Caddo Parish Fire District number 5 to issue, sell, and deliver in the name of the district fire district revenue refunding bonds in the amount not exceeding $1,630,000 in one or more series for the purpose of refunding outstanding general obligations of the district seeking state bond commission approval.
So
providing for the
moved.
employment-
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner John Atkins, seconded by Commissioner Mike Middleton to authorize resolution number 32. No one's on the board.
I'll speak.
Commissioner Jackson, you're not on the board, are you?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Jackson? I'm sorry, hang on. Commissioner John Atkins made the motion, so we'll let you speak and then we'll go to Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you. Fire District 5 is seeking to refinance bonds. It's not a additional funding, it's just replacing one form of funding with a new form of funding. It will be paid off by the fees and services associated with Fire District 5. There are no obligations to the parish beyond Fire District 5. I would make a note that there is a municipal location that's referenced in their resolution. It's an incorrect location that they said they'll correct. So we want to make sure we get that corrected to the Fire District 5 area. That's it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Commissioner Jackson?
That answers my question for right now.
Okay. Is everybody clear on resolution number 32? This is the reissue and I guess the bonding, refunding bonds. Please vote. And that passes 10-0. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Authorize resolution number 33 to revise the guidelines for the parish NGO program.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by Commissioner Chavez, seconded by Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Chavez, you want to speak on your motion?
Yeah, I do actually. This is every year this comes up, and we're forced to figure out how we're going to move this budget forward. And every year, a lot of the NGOs that we help, they ask for more. And Commissioner Atkins and I have formulated this piece of legislation to help the current NGOs be self-sustaining, as well as allowing other NGOs to come on board and get grants from the parish as well. So I think this is the fair way that we can achieve this, as well as the ones that are needed, absorb those into our average budget so that Dr. Wilson and administration can take on the needed NGOs that service the entire parish.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Chavez. Commissioner Lyndon Johnson?
Commissioner Atkins seconded, didn't he?
He didn't get to speak just because he seconded.
Okay, I thought the motion and the second.
No, when we went through our parliament,
Oh,
that
that
was one of the
changed?
issues. That was one of the issues that's not.
Okay, I would like to make a substitute motion to move this to the NGO committee. If I get a second, I can explain why.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Lyndon Johnson to move this to the NGO committee. I have a second by Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts. Commissioner Johnson, since you're the maker of the substitute motion, we'll let you speak at this time.
Okay. During this term, we've always talked about when things are affected to that particular committee, that we send it to the committee, let the committee hash it out before we bring it to the board. This was not even brought to the chairperson of the NGO committee, which is myself. So you're making guidelines to the NGO without even talking to the chairman about it. I think that that's totally wrong, because if I did it to one of you guys, then you would have been saying that, why you do that? So I'm asking the same question, why you do that? There's a lot behind what goes on with the NGOs, and I know one of the last statement you just said for Dr. Wilson and them to help the parish-wide NGOs, but all the NGOs come through us. They don't go through staff. We vote on what NGOs get funded, even the ones that are parish-wide. Food bank, any of those. If it's parish-wide, we vote on that, not the staff. Staff has nothing to do with it. If we sit and say 0 for everybody, then it's 0 for everybody. So I think to have, as y'all would say, to respect the committee and the chair of that committee, that this will go through committee and we hash it out and do it the right way, or we can vote on it now and that just opened Pandora's box for later on. Thank you.
Commissioner Atkins?
Commissioner Johnson's right. We probably should have sent it to committee. So from my point of view, I apologize for that. It would have been more effective to have done it that way. I was passionate about an item and didn't think about the proper protocol, so I apologize for that. But I do believe that, I do believe in giving NGOs a chance when they're trying to get up and running, but I do not believe that we need to feel obligated to support NGOs throughout their lifetime. So that was really a lot of what Commissioner Chavez were thinking about when we proposed this. Give people a hand up, but don't give them a handout for the rest of their career. So I'd really like to see some changes take place at NGO so that maybe we can move in that direction, and I'm willing to, certainly from my standpoint, willing to let the committee take the first pass at that. Thank you.
I'm on the board, and Commissioner Lyndon Johnson and I spoke about this, and I'm strongly, I guess, understanding, and I would thank you, Commissioner Atkins and Commissioner Chavez, for working on this, but I do believe that proper protocol is to at least let this go to the NGO committee. That's what we've done in the past, and as Commissioner Johnson said, we don't like things being done one way and not the other. So I'm going to be supporting Commissioner Lyndon Johnson's motion to send this to the committee, and if we don't like if Commissioner Atkins and Commissioner Chavez do not like what comes out of the committee, we can always, or you can always bring it back to the floor, because it's going to be ultimate to us, but I think the protocol is allowed us to go to the committee. So that's all I have at this time. I'm moving to Commissioner Lewis Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. That was my same question. I think it's been addressed. Was there any other input from any of the other members of the board? So I appreciate that. I appreciate the clarity and the input from all that is contributed. Thank you.
Commissioner Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm just curious to know how we're applying the word NGO. Is this just the NGO that's coming out of Riverboat, or is this NGO and video poker? Are we including economic development organizations in this, or is this just the NGO?
Just NGO. We can work on economic development if you want to, but we're just NGO.
Yeah, because the way I see it is, when I look at our budget, and Erica, correct me if I'm wrong, we have some organizations that are in the economic development budget that have been in there for quite some time as well. So I would just encourage us as we look at this process, and I don't know if that needs to go through policies and procedures or through the economic development committee, but I would assume that we would need to apply the same standard to each pool of dollars and not single out this particular one. I'm not totally opposed, as I've spoke before, to having some changes. It gets hard. I had a meeting last Thursday with a group of young folks who have great ideas, great passion, but I told them, you know, we've got enough people trying to split the pie so many ways, but I encouraged them to, you know, go through the process for 2019. I never discouraged them, but I would just hope that we would look at the same, if we go down this path, we would go down this path for NGO as well as economic development. So thank you, Mr. President.
And Commissioners, let's see, Chavez, for a second time.
Thank you, Chair. I actually apologize for not sending this to you. I emailed somebody else numerous times asking them to put it on the agenda. I thought they were the committee chair, and they didn't respond to me to tell me either way, yes or hey, I'm not the chairman. So I'm for it going to that place. And in regards to Commissioner Jackson, I agree with you. I've actually reached out to our organization that represents economic development, because my ask to them was, show me real economic development and on a grading system of these, because that's coming next. I want to see that for those guys next. They said they didn't want to get into that, so I'm actively looking for somebody else that will prove to me which one of those entities on the economic development list is true economic development, but we only can take one at a time. So I'm all for sending this to the NGO, but I would like us to have a real discussion on it and really get down to the nuts and bolts on, we can't fund everybody, and really have some serious conversation. So I'd like us all hands on deck when we get around that, because this is what we talk about every year. So I'm in favor for it moving to the committee. That's all, Chair.
Commissioner Bowman for the first time.
Yes, sir. Just for a point of clarity, I wanted to make sure I heard you correct about you emailing somebody and what happened.
I emailed a commissioner and they didn't respond.
Oh, okay.
So I thought somebody else, not him, was the chairman.
Okay. Because I know he said nobody met with anybody, but okay.
Commissioner Atkins?
Commissioner Jackson brings up a good point. Commissioner Jackson, perhaps we'll let this thing go through, this process go through the NGO, and then as the Economic Development Chair, I'd be happy to pick it up and take a look at how it works through economic development. You all, I asked my colleagues to help me remember to do that once we get through this process. Thank you.
Okay, and Commissioner Lyndon Johnson?
Yeah, just I guess one thing that I was taught as I started my work career is that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So basically what we have done with the NGO since I've been down here is try to diversify how we fund the different organizations. So instead of having 20 or 25 organizations getting X amount of dollars, we increased that number so that more organizations should get some kind of money, and maybe had to reduce some other ones that was getting it in the past, but at least it gave everybody a piece of the pie so that they could then try to get whatever program they had off the ground and get started. And so now it's another phase that we need to go through. This has been going on ever since I've been down here, of improving NGOs. Initially, NGOs were probably like a 1.5-page application at one time, and now it's up to 9 pages. So, I mean, there's been a lot of improvement year in, year out. You know, when you guys got in, it was a fresh set of eyes to look at it, but at that time, it had already been through a major step change. And so it's something that we constantly have to look at and constantly try to do it. And at one point in time, you had organizations that didn't even know that this money was even available to them. So it's the same thing I talked about earlier with the summer camp. Now that the organizations do know that it's there, now they're gonna start asking for it. So it's just now that more and more organizations are asking for money because, one, the city is saying that they don't have any money to give them for helping. So now they're coming to us. So, I mean, this is how it is. And if we can't sit there and say, well, we don't have the money, when the reports all show that the money is there. So you just have to make sure that you do it in a way that if it's a good program, that you at least try to fund it a little bit and not just turn it away. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner, let's see, we can vote at this time. We'll be voting on the substitute motion by Commissioner Lyndon Johnson to move this to the NGO committees. Please vote at this time. And that passes 10-0. Moving to the next item.
Authorize resolution number 34, 2018, urging and requesting Governor John Bell Edwards and LED to amend Louisiana's Opportunity Zone to swap out track 234 for track 217.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to first make an amendment to change from swap out track 234 to just include. So scratch out 234 and just put the word include. So not try to make it a, well, I don't know, I need a second first.
Second. Okay.
I need to make my amendment first.
All right, so we've got a motion by Commissioner Stephen Jackson, seconded by Commissioner John Atkins. I think that the resolution to basically,
so it would read
basically the one that's before us.
Correct. It would read, yes.
With the cross out, so to include track 217 and take out the swap out. Okay. And I think Commissioner Atkins had spoken to somebody about this, and this is what will be, seems a little bit better. Okay.
So that's only amendment. That's just the amendment right now.
Okay. We need to vote on the amendment first? Okay. All right, so we'll be voting on the amendment first. Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts?
I'm just curious to know why would we eliminate track 234, which happens to be District 7, which is the district I represent.
If I can.
No, I mean in the original resolution.
Well, I mean, my goal here is not to be territorial. I just looked at, this is not about District 7 or District 3 or District 5. It was about the intent of the opportunity zones is to create job investments. And so when you look at track 234, it's a residential area. And so when you talk about jobs, now if this was something to complement the Housing Trust Fund, look, I don't have a problem leaving 234 in there. It's just when you look at 217 versus 234, but this is not to be it was not intended to be a competitive process. When I talked to the person, their conversation to me was, more than likely you're gonna have to swap it out. But I mean, if there's a way to get it done without swapping them, let's just do that. And I don't even know that it's worth hashing out why 234. It's just a matter of, when you look at 234, it's a neighborhood. It's not an area where you're gonna get a lot of job investment. I don't know if they're gonna put a plant in, if somebody's looking to put a plant in Sunset Acres.
I beg to differ. I just want to make sure, just be on record to say that there's a lot of industry development in that area that you were initially saying to swap out in that track. That is also a portion that had an industry which you may have forgotten about when they had Oak Valley Farms, Borden, which is a business that was also in that area. However, I'm glad that you have included this portion in it, because it is important to me that we don't disenfranchise any portions of Shreveport or Caddo Parish, not just to say it was in a specific area or not. I was just curious to the question of why wasn't it, would it be swapped out for that? And I heard your argument in that, but I just want to make sure that it's on record that I would not support swapping out that track for another one. That's it.
Okay. Let's see, Commissioner Atkins?
Thank you. I just wanted to support Commissioner Jackson's amendment here. I think that his suggested changes will allow the city and the parish to move together. So he's trying to ensure that track 217 and the Willis-Knighton to Biomed and LSU Health Sciences Center are all potentially included in the opportunity zone. So that way we're all moving in the same direction. The parish, Dr. Wilson, and the mayor can work together to try to hopefully get track 217 included. And I think that is our primary objective here. So thank you very much.
Dr. Wilson?
Yes, Commissioner Watts, I'd like to kind of clarify for you. This is a copy of what Mayor Tyler submitted from the city. It does include the 217 and 234. The 234 had to do with the Hollywood Moortown area. That was on the original list. but the governor pared that list down. And so what's being asked now is for the governor to reconsider his list and include track 217, which is around the medical center. So if you feel strongly about what you're saying also, you may want to suggest that you include both the 234 and 217.
That's what the amendment is.
Yeah, that's what the amendment is.
Okay, then good. Then
Yes.
that should cover your area as well as the health unit Commissioner Jackson was talking about.
Right.
Can we get a copy of the governor's new
Yeah, because
recommendation?
this is the same thing that we have on,
The
on
governor
file
list?
right here.
Yes. We'll get a copy. I didn't get a copy of that today, but I got what the city had submitted.
Okay, I want that too.
Okay.
Okay,
We got it.
I'm just a point of clarification. So it's my understanding that the amendment was to state, to include track 217. It don't say anything about to also include track 234.
You don't have to say include track 234 because
It's already in there.
Already in
Okay,
there.
He's
okay.
taking the swap out.
Okay. That's
You
all
want
right.
to take 234 out.
All right, I'm good. Commissioner Jackson, second round, I guess? or-
on the amendment, I just want to be clear that, because there seems to be a lot of conversation around the, this particular resolution. I had never seen the document that you held up, Dr. Wilson.
Got this today, sir.
I understand. I sent all the information over to the mayor's office. I never got anything back. If you look at the resolution that I brought to this body, it had 234 was the first one. So to try to make this seem like I was trying to take one out of something or I was trying to exclude something, that was not the case. And I want to be on the record. Todd, please, it needs to reflect that that was not the intent to take anybody's subdivision out. Because when I initially put the first one up, 234 is at the very top of it. But when you look at what the intent of the opportunity zones is, 217 is more aligned with it than 234. I'm all for 234 being there because I think it helped bolsters the efforts of the Housing Trust Fund. But I would just hope that we would start having more conversations that if we're going to work together, I send stuff over all the time. That's why I start adding read receipts, because you send stuff over and folks act like they never got it. It wasn't until 2 o'clock today that I got a phone call about this issue, when I know I sent it to everybody last week. And so nobody really responded back. This is not to be a us versus them type of situation. I believe Commissioner Carthon in his absence asked when we first proposed this was, why don't we all get together to come up with a strategic list? And that didn't happen. So when I sit down and put my thoughts into something, it's just me. I'm more than happy to always have others at the table with. Thank you.
All right. So first of all, we'll be voting on the, I guess, the amendment by Commissioner Jackson. Please vote at this time. And that passes 10-0.
I move to advance as amended.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Stephen Jackson, second by Commissioner Atkins to advance this item as amended. Please vote. And that passes 10-0. Moving on to our next item.
Authorize resolution number 35, a resolution proclaiming and supporting May 6th through 12th as National Nurses Week.
Mr. President, I move that we advance and in globo and advance resolution number 35, resolution number 36, and authorizing the and the special resolution for Herndon, special resolution and presentation for Lemonade Day this time.
Second.
Okay, hang on one second.
I just skipped, the only one I skipped over was the fire district appointment. I don't know anything about that.
Right.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Jackson, seconded by Commissioner Chavez to englobo resolution 35, 36, and the Herndon appointment. Could you?
And the Lemonade Day.
Okay, where's the Lemonade Day?
We're gonna do a presentation.
Okay, can you take the Herndon one out?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna make the motion to move in globo 35, 36, and resolution number 30, the lemonade day. Can we please vote on those at this time?
I'm on the board.
Okay, Commissioner Middleton?
Simple. I'd like for everybody, every commissioner to bring a nurse up here to receive this on Thursday. Because it is Nurses Week. I don't want it to look like it's just for one particular folks. You get 12 nurses, 11 nurses, 10 nurses, whatever, up here to receive it. I think it'd be the right way to do it.
So, question. So this is a special resolution. This is a regular resolution. Are you trying to make it a special resolution?
He just wants to do something special.
Okay, just want to be sure.
Yeah.
Big on, he wants to make it special. You got
See us.
That's what the presentation is.
Okay, please vote.
Don't bring one if you don't want one, I'll tell them.
That means they all get one. Bring a dozen.
Move to, passes 10-0. Next item.
Authorize appointment of Mr. David Houston, Fire District 7 Board to fill the unexpired term of Mr. Adam Oliver.
So moved by the chair.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jackson.
Just didn't have any.
It's your district.
Anybody, yeah. Is anybody any questions?
It's your district.
Yeah. Please vote.
Never know what y'all have going on.
Do what? I had a person moved out or
I
something.
think we need
No,
a
Did
resume.
you got a copy of the resignation?
Actually,
I
did you
do.
get,
Yes,
did you get a resume?
No.
It is.
And 2 letters of recommendation.
Okay, move to our next item.
Never.
Authorize special resolution.
I'd like to move that to our next meeting. There's something
Second.
going on, so they can't come Thursday. We need to move it to our next regular meeting,
But
okay?
you can, we can advance it and vote on it for that then.
But they're gonna come, they're not gonna come this Thursday, they can come the
I
following.
know, but you can,
We can move it to the next meeting.
Yeah.
What's gonna be the best way to do it?
We can move it to the following.
So do we need to move it
the
today?
17th.
We need to move it today?
No, we can move it to the 17th.
Okay, so the motion is move to the 17th, so please vote.
Second.
And that's seconded by Commissioner Jackson. And that passes 8-0. And moving to our next item.
Communications committee reports.
Okay, anybody have any other communication committee reports? Commissioner Chavez?
Our music in the park event in Southern Hills was a complete success. Thank you to Andre. I don't see him out there, but there you are. I'm short. Sorry about that, Andre. Man, I appreciate all the hard work you did. Your guys came out the day before and they really worked hard. And they sweated their butt off, and it was well worth it. A lot of citizens really enjoyed it, and they said they were looking forward to it even more next year. So thanks for all your support for the parish. That's all, Chair.
Ditto. I know that whenever we ever having those festivals, Andre, his crew at the parks always come out. So that's one good thing that we need to keep in mind. So thank you, Andre, for all your help out there. I was at some baseball games. Otherwise, I would have tried to come out there because that was one of the things I always was supportive of. So
We had a petting zoo.
yeah. Okay, Commissioner Lenny Johnson.
yeah, Todd, the calendar, is it open, May 14th at 2 o'clock?
We have a 2:30 special meeting
2:30
on the
special.
14th. Yes.
All right, we can do 12 o'clock if you want.
We can do, you think it's gonna take more than an hour?
Yeah, with this
So
discussion.
say 1 to 2:30, so hour and a half?
Election dates and dates. Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
I still rather have it at 12 though.
Well, then at least time in between, that's the only problem.
It might take that long, cause Mario gonna talk a while.
Let's do 12.
Okay. And that is?
NGO.
NGOs.
What date is that?
May 14th.
May 14th?
All right, that's all I got. Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
I'm just writing it down to my, put it on my calendar for us so I don't forget.
All right, Stephen Jackson on the board.
Okay, Commissioner Jackson?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Wanted to say, kind of piggybacking on Commissioner Chavez, I appreciate Kelvin. I think we had some folks over at Beta, Virginia doing adoption, so I took some pictures so Commissioner Lynn will know that that's another weekend of outside adoptions that I caught y'all doing it. I didn't even know they would be there, so appreciate the effort, but it's just good to know that we don't have to micromanage or follow up. I mean, I was wondering what were our trucks doing at the park, but they were there doing what's the name. So glad to know that we got folks following up. Todd, when we do these resolutions are urgent folks, how do we get it to them? Do we just drop it in the mail?
We send it to them both hard copy and usually electronic version.
If you have okay. If you could possibly, like, if you send could you just stick a copy, and maybe we just get together, just stick a copy, and I don't know if everybody wants this, so that we'll know, so then we'll know to start following up with those folks on that as well. And the only other two announcements is tomorrow is Give for Good, so Dr. Wilson, if you can bring your other wallet from the house, the one that you got in the the one that you got locked up, stored away, and tucked under your bed.
What spider webs in it?
Yeah, get that credit card out from under those spider web. And Give for Good is tomorrow, so feel free to take day in that day of philanthropy throughout our community. And the other announcement is that the Financial Inclusion Summit is tomorrow at Hattie Perry Park. I believe Hattie Perry may be Commissioner Cawthorn's district. So Hattie Perry Park at 11:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. The FDIC will be sponsoring that. So please, if you have a moment to stop by, feel free to stop in and support it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. I see no one else on the board. Moving to President's report. Dr. Wilson, do you need something?
Yes, sir. If I can just comment on one thing. I had the opportunity yesterday to go to Morning Star Baptist Church.
Yes.
For their new facility.
Right.
It was most impressive. And I'd like to commend Commissioner Johnson and Stormy Gage for leadership. It's about over $5 million project, and they did a marvelous job and very well done. We are proud of them for what they've done on that project.
We saw the pictures on Facebook.
Thank you.
We saw the pictures on Facebook. It looked like y'all were having a good time, so thank y'all.
Amen.
So President's report, we'll do that Thursday, and citizens' comments, late arrivals. I don't have any. Does anybody else have any? One thing I do have for you, can we meet? I need to ask, we want to meet, Commissioner Jackson, myself, you, and IT person at 3 o'clock Thursday to go over the IT issue, computer issue.
Technology committee.
Technology committee.
When y'all gonna do that? I just, my iPad is struggling real bad.
Okay, I'll call.
Can you get the IT person?
Yeah.
3 o'clock?
3 o'clock? Is that, you think you can meet at 3 o'clock Thursday? Okay. All right. All right, let's see. Consent agenda, and do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson, we're adjourned.
That's right. Oh, no problem. That's why I knew.
They give her a chance.